The Globetard Goober Grandiose Dunning-Kruger Delusional Disorder F-22 Code Master, TheRumpus, back from nailing his How to Become a Delusional Globetard Goober in 13 Quick Steps thesis to the Little Lebowski Urban Achievers preschool door and the subsequent mass casualty incident from tear-jerking belly laugher syndrome. In the words of one Little Lebowski urban achiever who was just resuscitated, summarized the entire ordeal, exclaiming, "Obviously, he's not a golfer." The 13 quick steps responsible for the massacre are understanding that air is not the atmosphere. You don't have to be conscious to make an observation. You don't need to have a cause to establish a cause and effect relationship. The second law of thermodynamics doesn't apply to the earth. There's no such thing as natural laws. You just made that up. Pendulums go around in a figure eight. Measuring things is not maths. Gases effectively have little springs on them, pulling them towards the earth. The lens of the human eye is concave. Gases are solids. The ball has velocity upwards and an acceleration downwards. Gases are running around in all directions, but they're going down. And finally, it's not a visual horizon, but it is visible. Now on a PR campaign to feebly divert away from the Little Lebowski Urban Achiever Massacre with the slogan,
"Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!"
Tour, May 2021.
I'm the person telling you how reality is, and I'm always right. Understand the difference between entropy and the second law of thermodynamics?
There's no difference between the second law of thermodynamics and entropy, you amphibious rodent. From Simply Science Thermochemistry, the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy law or law of entropy, was formulated in the middle of the last century by Clausius and Thomson. From his alma mater wiki, the idea that the second law of thermodynamics or entropy law, yada yada yada. From hyperphysics.edu, Georgia State University, title of the section, The Second Law, Entropy. From John Simmons, PhD Physiology, title of the paper, The Second Law of Thermodynamics, Law of Entropy. If you would have stated there's a difference between daytime and sunlight, it would have been more coherent.
Entropy just simply tells you how disordered something is.
Fatality.
No, it doesn't. You treat objects like women. From the legend, Professor Lambert, entropysite.oxy.edu. This view was broached partially in a previous article that showed disorder was outmoded and misleading as a descriptor for entropy. Footnotes 1 and 2. Again from Professor Lambert, entropy is not disorder, not a measure of disorder, not a driving force. From Chem Libre text, there is no basis in physical science for interpreting entropy change as involving order and disorder. Stating entropy talks about disorder is akin to Max Planck describing the ultraviolet catastrophe as stop, drop, and roll. It's belly-laughingly juvenile proby and demonstrates beyond any doubt, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that we have a stage 5 clinger kung fu death grip globetard wiki-parroting goober of megalithic proportions.
You big dummy! Energy and position. Those are the two things entropy talks about.
What the f***? This bozo definitely doesn't roll on Shabbos. Entropy doesn't talk. It's a textbook pathetic fallacy. And position? Position of what? Pray tell. Combining your belly laughers here gives us entropy speaks to how disordered energy and position of what we don't know are. If we then add your crown jewel to the incoherent milieu,
the second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
we get the doofus's comprehensive understanding of entropy. Entropy speaks to how disordered energy and position of what we don't know are in Narnia. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
Right, hold on. Newton's first law.
that's it. I've had it. No more Newton. It will not be tolerated ever again. I've been gently correcting, coddling you mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging, window-licking, spinning space monkeys for about 2.5 years, attempting to have you simply mindlessly parrot the correct pseudoscience from your devil-worshipping pseudoscience wiki priest. That hasn't worked. Time for Plan B, the final solution. From this point forward, as soon as I hear new or any remote vapor of the laws of motion or the law of gravitation, I'm going to halt any and all conversations, expose the propagator, then proceed to drag them around by their incoherent short hairs, spill their entrails across the ground, and have my wolf pups feast, then laugh at you in front of God and everyone. You want to see medieval? Stay tuned. No more Mr. Fucking Nice Guy.
The horizon is not horizontal. The horizon is not nothing to do with horizontal.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
From mathopenreference.com, in geometry, a horizontal line is one which runs from left to right across the page. It comes from the word horizon, in the sense that horizontal lines are parallel to the horizon. The horizon is horizontal.
You are so dumb. Damn.
I'm always right. To prove something, you have to be able to logically do that by deductive reasoning.
Rumpus, you want to start over?
Listen,
You wanna
let me
start
finish. Let me finish. You cannot use deductive reasoning with science. It's all inductive.
Fatality.
Induction has nothing whatsoever to do with natural science, you delusional putz. From the King Cheese Philosopher of Science, Karl Popper, 1963, Conjectures and Refutations, via Wiki. As mentioned in the section, The Problem of Induction, Popper's response to the problem of induction is simply that induction is actually never used in science.
Uh-oh!
Back to Karl Popper, Conjectures and Refutations via Wiki. Karl Popper, a philosopher of science, sought to solve the problem of induction. He argued that science does not use induction, and induction is in fact a myth.
Uh-oh!
I'm always right.
You dumbass.
You cannot use deductive reasoning with science. It's all inductive.
Get lost, dummy.
Which means that invisible green pixies could be responsible for all the phenomena we put down in science. Demonstrate any understanding of science, I'll embark on my journey. So your first project would be to learn about trigonometry.
What the fuck? So for them to get up to speed and understand science, their first project is to learn about trigonometry? Trigonometry's mathematics, not science.
You dumbass.
From Richard Feynman, the Feynman Lectures on Physics, mathematics is not a science from our point of view, in the sense that it is not a natural science. The test of its validity is not experiment. From Dr. Kary Mullis, Nobel Laureate, Biochemistry, and mathematics, which is really not science. From Professor of Physics Black Krishnanan, ITT Madras. That's the whole point about physics. It's not mathematics. This is akin to stating, for you to get up to speed and understand dairy farming, your first project is to learn about curved tangent lines. You utter
Dumbass! Elmo was right.
Say hello to my little friend.